Our motto is friendship, fitness and fun.
Can I lick the bowl?
You can if you like. You can if you like.
It's hard to fall off that bike, I was going to say.
Oh, that looks fabulous, doesn't it?
Hello and welcome to The Good Life. I'm Gwen Wilson.
And I'm Pete Gatwood.
Coming up on this month's show, I'll be learning how to achieve a simple natural makeup look with Rosa from Total Bliss.
And we'll find out how in-home monitoring can help you stay in your home as you get older.
And later on, we'll be taking a look at how Anzac Day was commemorated around the country. And our Good Life chef Ben will be teaching us how to bake a fruitcake.
Oh, yum. But first up this month, I headed to Lake Illawarra on the New South Wales South Coast to check out a fun, alternative activity for staying healthy. If you're getting older and you want to stay healthy and active, but the idea of going to a gym or wandering around a golf course doesn't appeal to you, then I've got a suggestion for you. Dragon boat paddling. It's fast, it gets the adrenaline pumping, and it'll keep you fit, and it's a great way to make new friends. Dragon boat paddling is over 2,000 years old. Take that golf, and is one of the largest growing team sports in the world. Helen, what got you involved in dragon boats?
Well, I got involved way back in 2003 when I had breast cancer and I was one of the pink ladies. And then we had our husbands wanting to do it and some friends wanting to do it, and we were only allowed so many supporters. So then we decided in 2009 to start the Illawarra Dragon Boat Club, which is for anybody from the age of 12 onwards. Our youngest member's 13 and our oldest member is 85.
Oh, awesome. That's not many sports could brag an age spread like that.
That's right.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And so how often do you get together and go out on the boat?
Right, we train, and we call it training because we do it 3 times a week. Like today we've had what we call parachutes out the back of the boat to make it harder.
Oh, really?
Stronger.
I thought it was supposed to be fun.
Well, our motto is friendship, fitness and fun.
Right, okay.
So we have the fun element in there too.
So you've touched on a few of these already, but what are the benefits of being involved in a club like this?
The best thing that came out of it for me is that it's something I can do with my husband. My daughter did it with me for a while, but then she had children and then, you know, she was taken up with their sports. But it's a sport that you can, like, I didn't start doing it till I was nearly 60, so it's something that you can bring up at any age. It's a good sport for exercise because I've found I need to go to the gym so I can keep my, especially the upper body strength up. So it's good for exercise, it's good for friendships, and it's good for socialising. And
So what I see you've got some first timers here today.
yes.
What do first timers, what should they expect if they come along to a dragon boat meeting like this?
Well, when we have first timers, we have to show them the technique, and we take it slowly at first. We don't expect them to, but there's really like 4 steps to the paddle, and once they get the 4 steps of moving the paddle and keeping in time, then it's a breeze.
What was hard, anything hard about it?
The timing and make sure we all got our paddles in the water at the same time was probably the most difficult.
Okay.
But, they paced it nicely for us more mature people. We've been out for probably 15 or 20 minutes and found a few muscles that I hadn't found or hadn't used for a while.
Right.
But yeah, really enjoyed it. It was great.
Any advice for other newcomers?
Just come and enjoy it and go with the flow. Don't mind if you get wet, come dressed for the occasion and just have fun. Enjoy the weather, enjoy the people. The people are so friendly and welcoming.
Just come along, don't think they've got to be fit to do it. You don't, it'll probably make you fit.
Yeah, I think, and you know we worry about these muscles under here.
Yeah. Good for that?
I reckon. And I've hurt my knee recently and I thought it might stop me from enjoying it. Didn't stop me at all.
But it stops you thinking about it.
It does.
That looks a heap of fun. If you want to give it a go, most regions around Australia have local teams and welcome newcomers. Check the show notes on YouTube for some helpful links to help you get involved.
What do you do to keep fit, Pete?
Gwen, I love to bike ride. I'm not a lycra bike rider, but I haven't been able to do it since the wrist. Golf, I love golf. I have a passion for it. Once again, can't do it since the wrist. So at the moment I'm walking, getting on the exercise bike at home. It's hard to fall off that one. and doing some small weight training, particularly on this arm to build the strength back up.
Yeah.
And yourself?
Line dancing and walking mostly. Yeah.
Right. And the line dancing, that must be fun.
It's a lot of fun. And the music's great too.
Yeah.
That's where I was this morning.
Oh, excellent. I thought you were looking a bit fitter.
And for our next story this month, I headed to Total Bliss Hair and Body Spa for a tutorial on how to create a simple, natural and age-appropriate makeup look for women who are getting older but still want to look good.
I'm here today with Rosa of Total Bliss at Wollongong, and she's going to show us some tips for daytime makeup for the over 50s.
So when we're choosing our foundation, we should initially start off with two foundations. One that's a shade darker than your skin and one that's a shade lighter than your skin. Because your face is never ever the same colour 2 days in a row. And when applying our foundation, the biggest secret is what we're trying to achieve is a youthful, fresh look. So your makeup has to be applied in an upward motion.
Oh, okay.
You get a lot of people that will apply their makeup down and it actually ages you. So you can apply your foundation in a downward motion, but the last should always go in an upward motion. It just gives you the illusion of everything moving up. But what also works for us in our 20s and our 30s isn't going to work for us in our 50s and our 60s. So your foundation, eyeshadow, any product that you apply to your skin should be in a warm tone, a warm base, because our skin after 40s takes on a sallow look. After I've done the foundation, I then always use a black pencil or a brown pencil and draw 2/3 of a line across your top eyelid. And then that way it makes your eyelashes appear longer and denser when we apply the foundation. Now, just close your eyes for me. Now, when we're doing the eyeliner, we don't go to the inner corner of the eye. We actually start just in the middle of it and work your way out. We don't follow the contour of our eye because then if we follow that, it's going to make our eyes look sad. We actually stop probably 2 millimeters before and flick it out. And then that way, remember I said right from the beginning, everything we do has to work in an upward motion. So close for me again. So we're working out. And just as I get to the outer corner, I start to work towards the eyebrow. So then we get cotton tip, and you dip that in a dark eyeshadow and smudge your eyeliner right across your eyelid. And the reason why we do that is your eye pencils have waxes and oil in them, and we're trying to mop up any so you don't get your mark across the socket. See, looking at Gwen, she can just put mascara on now and her eyes have already started to move up. What we need to do is mop up any oil that is on the eyelid. Now you can use a skin-coloured eyeshadow or a skin-coloured powder and you swipe it across the entire eyelid and over the eye pencil, because that will still mop up any oil or wax.
And is this as preparation for
This is
eyeshadow?
preparation, and this will actually prevent your eyeshadow creasing in the socket of your eye. Now, when applying eyeshadow, you should never ever take your eyeshadow past that point. So it should be the corner of your nose, corner of your eye, and the end of your eyebrow. If you take your eyeshadow past that, your eyes are going to look droopy and it's not going to work for you.
Okay.
Now, like I said before, anyone over 40 starts to get sallow skin, so every colour that we use has to be a warm tone.
Okay.
So what I'm going to use today is like a terracotta-y eyeshadow, and I'm going to place that on the socket of the eye. So we always take our eyeshadow past our socket line because that actually gives it a lift. Now our eyelashes grow in a fan. Your mascara should be applied as close as you can to the roots and then fan them out like a fan. So the middle goes straight up the outer corners go out and the inner corner moves in. So what we're going to do with the eyebrows, we don't actually start from where the eyebrow's growing. We probably come in a couple of millimetres and just shape our eyebrow, follow the line, and you've actually drawn the shape of your eyebrow, and then you just fill it in. Anyone over 50 shouldn't be using thick pasty lipstick. I think lip gloss is, especially for the day, is far more beneficial because it actually hydrates your lips and makes them look plumper. So what I'm going to use today is a nice bronzy coppery colour because it's a nice day lipstick. So blush, I only ever use apricot or pink. And the reason for that is we want to look fresh. So your blush just goes on the apple of your cheeks and that'll just freshen you up a bit. Go and have a look and tell me what you think. How do you feel?
Oh, that looks fabulous, doesn't it? I really like the way you've done the eyes, so I'm going to have to keep practicing that.
I'm sure that there'll be other makeup classes in different areas. Just contact a makeup artist or a hair salon that actually does lots of wedding makeup and they'll be able to put you onto someone.
And for those who can't, they can just watch The Good Life.
And for our next feature story this month, Good Life correspondent Karen Stevens and her mum Nola looked into how new advances in technology for in-home monitoring are helping older people to stay in their homes as they age.
Most Australians want to age in the comfort and familiarity of their own home. To help them do this, care providers are developing new tools and services that support independent living as we age. We're going to learn more about this with the help of my mum Nola, who has volunteered to take part in a home sensor pilot. Data from these small sensors will create a picture of my mum's daily routine and enable her support network, that is my sisters and I, to be alerted to any potential problems. This new monitoring system is being developed by IRT Group, Fibre Optic Design and Construct and Microsolve right here in the Illawarra. It could give older Australians like my mum more confidence to live independently at home for longer. I sat down with mum and the sensor experts to find out more about this exciting technology. So Stephen, why is IRT piloting this technology?
We're passionate about keeping people in their homes as long as we possibly can, and this technology gives them assurance because it's non-invasive monitoring, and it provides their family with some assurance that they're still up and about and around the house.
In each of the devices there are up to 9 sensors. So some of the sensors include temperature sensing, movement, light, and those different sensors are able to give us information about a person's movements in the house. So we can put these sensors on a cupboard door, say a pantry door in a kitchen, and that will tell us a few things about that kitchen. It'll tell us that the door has been opened and closed. It'll tell us that the light has entered the cupboard and that the temperature in the kitchen is an acceptable temperature for somebody to be getting around in. It's not too hot or cold, or the stove's been left on and the room's heated up, or there's some sort of problem. So each of the sensors is able to give us all sorts of information to tell us that things are okay in a person's house.
So Mum, why did you volunteer to participate in this trial?
I think it's a good idea to have the sensors in your home, particularly as I'm an oldie and I don't know what the future holds, and at least my family know on a daily basis that I'm okay, that if I'm not okay they will find out.
At the moment what we're doing is setting rules. Say for example that the pantry that's behind me here, it might open 5 times a day in a normal routine. So we set the rules for that pantry door to say if it's opened 5 times a day, we don't want to know about it. But if it's not opened at all during the day, we'd like an SMS message to be sent to that person's family to say the door wasn't opened and we would expect it to be opened 5 times. So the family member can call up the person under care and see if there's any problem, or if there's no answer, it might mean that there's a visit necessary because that normal routine's been broken.
For the family member, it's good for them to know that nothing unusual is happening.
Okay.
So they can ring up and talk about the netball game rather than, are you still okay, Mum?
So we're trialling these devices in various environments, some of them commercial and some of them in people's homes. And we're also trying to make it a very cost-effective device. As we said, these are battery-powered devices. We need to make it stand-alone so that it isn't interfered with by a person's own broadband service at home or the power at the person's house, but also keeping it cost-effective so that people can install these without having to break the budget.
I think it's very exciting because lots of elderly people get stressed about how long they're going to be able to stop in the family home, and this way they can possibly stop longer in their home with these sensors letting their family know if there's a problem.
Last month on April 25th, we marked Anzac Day in remembrance of those who have proudly served in Australia and New Zealand's armed forces. In the lead up to Anzac Day, The Good Life caught up with some IRT residents and a Victoria Cross recipient to ask them, what does Anzac Day mean to you?
100 years on, we were only just formed as a nation some 5 years after World War I broke out, so some 13 years after World War I broke out. About 5 million, the population was about 5 million back then. We sent about 430,000 of our men and women to war. So 100 years on is quite significant. It's a time to reflect on the service and sacrifice of all those defence personnel that have gone before me and the rest of the Defence Force. Anzac Day means to me something very special. It's a time that I reflect on my family service. Both my grandfathers served in the Second World War. I've had mates that haven't been so lucky and didn't make it home as well. So for me, it means a time to reflect on my mates that didn't make it home and my family's service to the nation.
Anzac means to me of the trials and tribulations and the suffering that most of our men and still are doing today, not only men but ladies as well. Serving overseas, the conflict just keeps going on, and we are so grateful for what they have done for us and continue to do.
Anzac Day means to me thanking all the men and women that went to war for us, for all the wars, and just if they hadn't have gone, they sacrificed so much, and I think we need to thank them a lot.
It brings back the memories of the days that I served with my comrades, and you know, they were days that I'll never forget.
Anzac Day to me means memories. I remember my grandparents because they lost a boy in a war, and he was found at Fromell. And we always went into town on the train to the marches, and so it's all a lot of it's happy memories to me. But Grandma never came with us. She was too upset always on Anzac Day.
Anzac Day means a lot to me, to be able to commemorate the fallen. I think that for everyone, that is the most important thing. It's the whole purpose of Anzac Day is to remember those who died. We were lucky, we survived, but so many young boys, particularly where I was, in aircrew, in bomber command, we lost so many, including two of my cousins who were over there when I was there. We lost 97 heavy bombers in one night in March '44. That's 700 aircrew killed in one night, and we mustn't forget that.
Well, to me, Anzac means a chance to bring to people's attention the sacrifices that the guys have done for us over all the wars that we've been involved, and to make sure that the young people of today still realise what they went through on our behalf.
So Gwen, Anzac Day.
I was in Dubbo.
Right.
Where were you?
I was in Balgownie.
Did you go to the dawn service?
I didn't, but I went down to the War Memorial in Balgownie, where a relative is commemorated, who died in France.
Oh, okay.
So in the First World War.
Yes.
And then went up and played a bit of two-up.
Well, I was
And
supposed to play. I was supposed to play, but I needed to do a dash up to Dubbo, so I went to the dawn service.
Oh,
up
lovely.
there. It was lovely.
I bet it was.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Very historic
Yeah.
place, Dubbo.
Yeah.
Well, we're back in our Good Life kitchen with our Good Life chef, Ben. Welcome back, Ben.
Thank you very much, Peter.
How you been over the last month?
I've been good.
That's the way.
Keeping fit and healthy.
Doing lots of cooking?
Yes, I have.
Now, I've heard a rumour that we're going to be using our oven for the first time today. Is that correct?
Well, that's correct. Today we're going to be baking a Spanish bar cake.
A bar cake.
Let's get stuck into it.
Okay, great.
Okay, so I'll grab the bowl, but first thing before we do that, I've got some water in here that I've already poured in. So I've got 4 cups of water in this pot, and I'm going to add the raisins and the butter. Okay.
Quite a lot of butter.
So there's about 250 grams there.
Yeah.
Okay. So put that on. What we're going to do is we're going to get this started. We're going to bring it to the boil and then let it cool. All right, Peter, the mixture's now cooled down. We're ready to make our cake. So we'll get all the ingredients together. So we'll just start off with our flour.
Plain flour?
Yep, 4 cups of self-raising flour.
Oh, it is self-raising.
Yeah. You got 1 cup of chopped walnuts.
You could use pecans if you wanted.
You could if you wanted.
Yep.
2 cups of white sugar.
Now the spices.
Now the spices.
Yeah.
So now I've got some nutmeg, 1 teaspoon. I've got some 5 spice, again, another teaspoon. Cinnamon and cloves, another teaspoon of that.
That's a potent combination.
It is quite strong and flavoursome.
Yes, flavoursome combination.
With 2 whole eggs. So I'll get the mixture in there.
Yep.
Just pour it in.
That buttery smell with the raisins too is beautiful.
And you can just see before I stir it, you can see how the raisins are just plumped up. Just while they've been cooling down, they've just plumped up nice and getting really full. So we just mix it together. So combine all that. So if I mix it too early with a whisk, it just goes everywhere. So I get everything all mixed, and I'll just change over to a nice whisk. So just get in there and just mix it all.
So is this like a traditional recipe dating a long way back? Do we know?
Yeah, I've had some Spanish friends that tell me that their mum used to make this for them, their grandma used to make this for them. So
when there was no such thing as a mix master.
Well, I mean, everyone would have their variation of it. So this is one style of a Spanish bar cake.
Well, that is so aromatic. The smell coming out of that is absolutely gorgeous.
So that's all ready to go.
Great.
Just get the cake tin that ready. So we've just got a cake tin. Just spray it. Just some greaseproof paper. It just fits in nicely. So there's a reason why I use this tin, because it fits the paper perfectly. Okay. All right, so I'll just grab my spoon again. Now this is it.
There we go.
Very easy.
All right.
The whole thing just goes straight in.
That is. So, well, you've made it look easy anyway, Ben.
Well, it is easy. So straight in, nice batter. And that's it. Ready to go.
Can I eat it now? Can I lick the bowl?
You can if you like. You can if you like. So
I'll tell you what, your grandkids would like to lick the bowl.
Well, this is it. That's for sure. It's very, very. You can smell it. The flavours are really, really rich.
Yeah.
So I've got the oven preset at 175 degrees Celsius. I've got a fan forced oven, so it's on, and we'll just pop it in.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. Put that on for about 35 minutes.
Okay, that's easy.
All right, so the cake's in, so I'll just get our cream cheese topping mixture made up. Okay. So I'll grab all the ingredients. Okay, some cream cheese, a bit of lemon juice. I'll get all the cream cheese in there. You can buy the spreadable one, or you can just leave it out for a little bit and soften it up at room temperature. So I won't use all of it. There's about 100 mils of lemon juice in there.
Freshly squeezed lemon juice?
I have actually, and about 200 grams of sugar. So I'll pop that in. I'll just start it. Start on low. We don't want to throw everything out the bowl. And as it comes together, we'll just increase the speed. So just only a minute on fast, and we're ready to go.
I'm really starting to drool now, I can tell you. I can smell the lemon coming out of that.
So this is pretty much ready to go, so we'll just stop this.
How do you know when it's ready?
It's not smooth.
Yeah.
It's nice and smooth.
I
So
can
it's
see-
ready to go. So You can see it all here, so you can just see the texture. So it's ready to go. And all we've got to do now is wait for our cake to cook. And
we're good to go.
And top it. Okay, Peter, the cake's been in now for about 35 minutes, so I'll cook this a few times. I know that it's cooked. 35 minutes, it's a done deal.
I trust
so
you.
I'm just going to take it out. Okay. There you go, look at that.
Oh, look at it, smell it.
Look at that. Okay,
Oh, it
so
looks magnificent.
what we'll do is just leave that. We'll let it cool. So that'll probably take an hour and a half.
Yep.
And then we'll just ice it. Okay, Pete, now we've got our cakes cooled. We've got it onto a plate. We've got our cream cheese icing mixture on there. We're ready to go.
All right.
So we'll just get a bit, just scoop it up on top. And we'll just spread it out.
Bigger the better.
Well, the cake is a country style cake, so you know we don't have to be too delicate with it. Yeah, get that in there. We've got some nuts on top.
Okay.
Very simple Spanish bar cake.
Oh, wonderful.
Geez, you're quick, mate.
Yeah. Well, I'm hungry.
All right, well, let's get stuck into it. So,
well, Ben, the proof of the pudding, as they say. I'm dying to try it.
well, off you go, mate.
With a fork?
With a fork.
All right. I've got to get that raisin. Oh.
How moist is this cake?
Oh, it's beautifully moist. The icing on top too adds to the moisture, the flavour. The lemon in the icing brings something else out. But I can also taste the spices you put in. Ben, sensational. So,
there you go.
So good, mate. Thanks so much.
Not a problem.
Look forward to the next show.
Me too.
That's our show for this month. Our thanks to the Illawarra Dragon Boat Club, Rosa from Total Bliss, Nola Stevens, Michael McKeough, Stephen Cuff, and those who shared their sentiments about Anzac Day.
The next episode of The Good Life will be available in early June. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. I'm Pete Gatwood.
And I'm Gwen Wilson. And we'll see you next time on The Good Life.